Hi, welcome to this week's episode of In the Hoods. This is a special week because this week we're creating a neighborhood that I think should exist. And this neighborhood I am going to be calling Upper Fifth Avenue. It's an area where I lived myself in my early teen years. And I lived on 98th Street and Fifth Avenue. And today that is called Carnegie Hill still. And I beg to differ. I really think that's pushing. I think Carnegie Hill really goes to 96th Street. And everything north of 96th Street to 110th Street, we're going to call Upper Fifth Avenue. Because although the buildings in the southern end between 98th and 96th definitely have a Carnegie Hill feel. When they were built in 1926, I guarantee you this was not considered a desirable area. Even now, and definitely when I lived there, as you walk east, you are definitely in East Harlem. I'm going to carve it out here. And I'm going to call everything from 96th Street to 110th Street on Fifth Avenue, Upper Fifth Avenue. And it really does have its own flavor. On 96th Street, you have both a co-op and a rental building right on Fifth Avenue. They're both old buildings, all pre-war. As you move north, it's all cooperative. And these are glorious old buildings that have big apartments. The rooms are spacious because they're in earlier construction. And then at 99th Street, you have the beginning of Mount Sinai and the Carl Icahn School of Medicine, which goes to about 102nd Street. This is all very new construction. It's really quite lovely. They have a beautiful atrium, which you walk into first before you look for your doctor's office. It's very well designed. It's very user-friendly. This whole medical center really moves quite far east into East Harlem. But along Fifth Avenue, when you get to 103rd Street, you have the tail end of Museum Mile with the Museum of the City of New York, which is really an interesting place to visit, and I think gets short shrift too often. And right next to it, on 104th Street, you have El Museo de Barrio, which is a museum of Latin culture, which focuses not only on New York, but largely on. It is also a really interesting place to visit. As you go north, it remains residential, and you have a combination of pre-war co-ops, a number of buildings which were rental buildings and were converted to condominium, and the occasional rental build. But what all this property has in common is that it's right across the street from everybody's backyard, Central Park. And a particularly beautiful part of Central Park, a less used part of Central Park. So it really does feel like your backyard. You know, I remember picnics in this meadow, probably on 99th Street in Central Park with my family. And it really was a lovely place. East Harlem is next week.